Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 7 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is by Tanya. In this episode, Miss Carmichael plans to get rid of all the old mannequins at Reininger's, including Tanya. So Leni, Miguel, and Fiona try to save their favorite lifeless friend from getting permanently taken away and subsequently destroyed. Excluding Force of Habits, this is Leni's first official lead episode of Season 7, and I'll just say it did not disappoint at all. Between Leni and her two work friends, Fiona and Miguel, it was great seeing the Reininger's trio back in the spotlight for the first time since Grub Snub in Season 5, and they definitely had quite the adventure in this episode. I know it may seem totally insane to go out of one's way to save a mannequin after developing an attachment to it, but at the same time, there's something kinda sentimental about wanting to protect what I assume is Leni's biggest comfort object. For whatever reason, she and her co-workers don't treat Tanya as just a prop, as we've seen in many past episodes. They truly see her as one of the workplace family, and in some cases, someone you can vent to about your problems. Plus, for a character like Leni and how much time she's spent talking to and doing things with Tanya for the past few seasons, the idea of losing this mannequin would understandably make her upset. Anyway, she and her friends first try to hide Tanya inside the store while the movers take away all the other mannequins. They're nearly caught in the process, and Miguel tries to keep one of the movers distracted by giving him a makeover. With fabulous results, if I may say. However, with Leni being the sweet but ditzy character she is, Tanya is inadvertently placed in the mover's truck, and Leni and her friends have to leave the store to get her back. They try to sneak into the storage warehouse disguised as mannequins, and Miguel blows their cover after his sense of fashion is insulted. That's when they take off and try to stay out of sight while looking for Tanya. Miss Carmichael calls her employees and threatens to fire all three of them if they don't come back to the store, and that's when Leni stands her ground by saying she's still going to save Tanya and doesn't care if she loses her job because of it. This was Leni's best moment of the entire episode in terms of exhibiting strength and maturity. Not only does she admit it was her idea to leave the store, but Fiona and Miguel didn't deserve to get fired because of her actions. Granted, her friends did decide on their own to follow Leni, and they were still willing to stand by her side even if they were all going to lose their jobs. But Leni's speech reinforced how much she has grown since first being hired at Reininger's back in Season 3. She once again demonstrated how confident she has become throughout the series by standing up for herself and not letting anyone or anything push her around while taking charge of the situation she finds herself in. So Leni and her friends try to look for Tanya in the recycling area of the warehouse, and they spot her on the conveyor belt. But just when they think all hope is lost and they can't save Tanya before she gets crushed by some big metal spikes, the machine is suddenly turned off by none other than Miss Carmichael. Minor nitpick here, but I can't be the only one thinking her coming from the mall and showing up to that exact spot in the warehouse barely a minute after her phone call with Leni was just a little too quick and easy. Either she drove really fast or it's just another example of cartoon logic. I'll just go with cartoon logic. Either way, Miss Carmichael decided to save Tanya because she came to realize how everyone at her store is part of one big family, something she mentioned at the beginning of the episode. And Leni's actions and attitude convinced her that Tanya is no exception. Miss Carmichael really respected Leni for the fact she risked both her life and her job just trying to save Tanya, a true showing of love if there ever was one. In the end, Leni got to keep her lifeless friend, and Miguel learned to finally appreciate tie-dye after spending the entire episode talking about how much he hated it. Not the funniest running gag, but no sense in complaining about it. Overall, this was a total Leni episode by every definition, and it was excellent all the way around. She demonstrated how far she'll go to protect the one she calls her best friends and family, even if some of those people are completely inanimate, and she's willing to risk anything and everything for them if need be. Miguel and Fiona also demonstrated what it meant to be loyal friends when they made it clear they'd stand by Leni no matter what, even if Leni told them to not risk their livelihoods because of the decisions she made as a manager. Speaking of which, Miguel actually referred to Leni as a manager at the beginning of the episode, even though she's not seen wearing a name tag like she did once before. Now, I'm only speculating here, but I'm just going to assume her temporary manager position from leader of the rack proved to not be a one-time deal. My guess is Leni was officially promoted to manager following what happened that day, so what I said about such an idea in my review of the aforementioned episode appears to have come to fruition, and rightly so. Anyway, Anyway, my favorite comedy moment of this episode was Leni trying to act normal in front of the movers while using Tanya's body as a disguise. I would totes lose my head if it wasn't attached to my very human body. Only someone like Leni could say something like that and make it absolutely hilarious. One last thing I want to mention is the movers. With those mustaches and corresponding red and green outfits, don't they kinda look like the Mario Brothers? I know Fiona said they move like ninjas and I can sorta see why, but at the same time, the way they dodged all those flying mannequin parts had shades of how Mario and Luigi jump and avoid moving objects in the games. Meh, just a thought. But yeah, if you're looking for Leni's best performance of Season 7, where she shares the experience with her incredibly underrated work friends, you'll find what you're looking for right here. With that said, I give Bye Tanya a 9.3 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Bye Tanya. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.